Hello and welcome to the Prussian Night review of Raw 10 Raptar. Now, I do apologize for my setup. This is filmed not even 5 minutes after my Doom review to make up for the missing time of not posting videos regularly, which I've been trying to, but again, with pre-orders and school and my camera dying, have not been going so well. But first and foremost, we'll remove him from the packaging and his little plastic holds in the packaging, and we will take a look at his packaging first. Now, I don't have the poster pamphlet that came with him. That is actually in another room, so we're just gonna look at the packaging. Got a very cool image of Raptar. You got Raw 10 Raptar, 6 and up, Raw 10 Raptar. You got Raptar on the back, and you have Raptar there. You can run, but you can't hide. You got Battlesnake, Frenzy, and Cygor. Now, out of all of them, I am going to say this one, Battlesnake looks to be kind of the one that I am going to pass. I don't have Cygor. I might pass on Cygor, but I have Frenzy and Raptar, and I might do a review on him later on. Here you can see codename Raptar, species Velociraptor, attack, claw strike, tail whip, power bite. There's the bio if you'd like to pause and read it. And moving on here to Raptar himself. Now, this figure compared to Frenzy and the others is pretty decent for the most part. Move my camera up a little bit and adjust everything. He is okay. As you can kind of see, his stance is a little awkward. He's kind of chasing his tail, and he kind of has to stand on one arm, which I'm worried about the paint on this arm getting damaged because of it. He does actually have detailing on the bottom of his feet, which is immaculate. Or not immaculate, but incredible, because this guy weighs a ton. And on the box, I pointed out that says 6 and up. If you get this guy, I don't know if it's just my copy, these teeth to open his mouth is stiff, and his teeth are a bit sharp, so if you are going to get this for kids, I mean, the upper teeth, not so much, but the bottom teeth are a tad bit sharp. And if you're going to get this for your kids, just take that in a note. Nothing else on him is particularly sharp. Even the claws are, I mean, they're pointy, but they're not sharp. But anyways, we'll get in closer to his details, and then we'll go over his articulation. You see his face, you got the red eyes, some nice scale work on both sides. One thing I don't like is this is more gloss and this is more matte, so this does kind of stand out. It doesn't look bad when you have him like this, but when you start kind of rotating him, you can see the difference in the plastic. But you can see some scales and bumps and detailing on his hands. You can see his hands are fairly nicely detailed. My autofocus would want to work. My autofocus wanted to fight me in the last video. You can kind of see his claws, not painted, but they're sculpted in. You can see some nice knuckle wrinkles sculpted in. Move his hand down, you can see some veins and whatnot. On the other side, you can see the sculpt of the neck. Maybe you can't because of my horrible autofocus. You can see the sculpting of the neck. You can see a little bit of gappage here, which isn't that bad. More sculpting. You can see some more paint detailing of some paint sculpting. And the mechanical bits is where McFarlane is killing it with these figures. This guy was like $10, and he has ungodly detailing in this mechanical work. As I pointed out earlier, he's got detailing in his feet, which is sculpted in. You can see all these wiring and metal plates. You can see even the wiring in between them. Going up the tail, you got this amazing dry brushing. And for the most part, being $10, you can't really see very many paint imperfections. Now, I say very many because when you get these guys, like I just showed you in the packaging, is open-faced. So these will kind of get beat up on the shelf at the stores, which I have seen some that have taken some abuse, but for the most part, this paint is pretty durable. I've taken quite a few pictures of this guy. He's been through quite a few tumbles, and I have not had any paint damage. Sorry. This leg is a bit loose at certain points, so he doesn't like to stand up, but just an amazingly done figure for $10. Now getting into his articulation, mouth is open that far, closes only that much. I wish it closed all the way, but that's just me. Arms move forward that far, move back that far till they get into contact with the leg, but if you move the leg back, you can move it back just slightly more. This arm, on the other hand, moves forward that far, moves down that far. That's as far as it's going to move. I mean, even if you move the leg all the way down, it won't move any farther because of the sculpt. Legs will move backward that far, forward that far, just barely any movement. You can move forward all the way with this one. You can move forward that far, back that far. Tail actually has 2 points of articulation, which I was not expecting. It swivels here, which is really tight on mine, and swivels here. Now, when I looked at this figure first, I thought, oh, his head's not going to move, it's going to be stuck in this position. It does rotate a 360, it's tight on mine, so you can get him looking forward. If I can get, there we go. But he doesn't stand very well because all the weight shifted forward. The sculpting, which is part of the reason I had him right here, you can see the sculpting goes up and then it stops because it's supposed to be tilted back, but then you can kind of see the sculpting going around here. Also, when you look at him from the front, trying to get him a bit more lined up straight, you really can't. I mean, it's always going to be off to the side. And when you look at it from this side, it doesn't look as bad as the other side. But then again, that's sculpting. And to get this guy to stand like this, you're going to have to kind of finagle his feet and get him to lean against something and he'll stand, because this guy is solid. He probably weighs a good 3 pounds. He's pretty heavy, but for the most part, he kind of feels like an old action figure of how McFarlane was in the 90s. If you guys have ever seen those, like the Clive Baker's Tortured Souls, or the old well, just any old McFarlane toy from the 90s. The color tops, the 7-inch Walking Dead color tops, are about the same way with the articulation, but they have a bit more. Kind of rotate that foot down, but altogether, that's all there really is to Raptar. An amazingly done figure, especially for the price. Articulation-wise and sculpt-wise, I mean, articulation-wise, out of 10, he's probably like a 3, 4. Detail-wise, I'd give him an 8, 8.5 out of 10. The only reason I say that is because there's a lot of detail here and a lot of lovely wash and sculpted and detailing, but very, very little of it is painted or picked out in paint. And that kind of hurts the figure in kind of collector ways, but I mean, I could see these being cool for kids. You know, obviously a little bit older than 6, but that's just me. And I know I've been ridiculed on some social media for saying that these guys do have sharp points, but these claws, I mean, the way they're sculpted, and they don't really, you can still hurt yourself on them. And same with these teeth, and that's the only thing I'd worry about, especially with Frenzy. When I get into him, the bottom tip of his tail is very, very sharp on mine. I don't know if it's just mine or all of them in particular, but I kind of worry that parents are going to buy these to his kids, and their kids are going to, because this actually physically hurts. I mean, I don't know if you could see that, but it actually kind of leaves indents of his teeth in the flesh of my finger trying to open it because it is stiff. I mean, that could be loosened over time. I'm not saying it's going to be permanent and stiff like that, but just watch out if you're buying these for your kids for that reason. Now, older kids, say 8 or 9, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But if you're buying it for like your 6-year-old, I would kind of be wary of it. I'm not saying pass on it for them, but just kind of be wary of that and kind of watch that. But this has been a Pressure Night review of Raw 10 Raptar. Like the video if you liked the content. Comment on what I could do better. Say, hey, you know, your video sucks, do this, or just comment down below. Comment down below, tell me what your favorite figure from the Raw 10 line is, or what your favorite dinosaur is. And subscribe if you'd like to see more of these reviews. And I will catch you folks next time.